I have our first, I think, monthly book review. And
just drop the book, Tori.
Drop the daggum book. Okay. So today I'm reviewing The Shack, which is by, what does W.M. mean?
I don't know.
W.M. Paul Young. And I really like this book. My friend Anna recommended it to me because she read it during school as one of her independent reading projects. But I truly have come to love this book. I did not expect a lot out of it, but the first... Okay, I'm just going to tell you what it's about. It's about this guy. His name is Mac, and his youngest daughter has gone missing. And they never find her, and he's lost hope in his relationship with God. And a few years later, he gets a note saying that he needs to go to the shack where they found her dress. Like, because they didn't find her body, but they found her dress and, like, her shoes in the shack with her blood and everything. And he thinks it's a joke until he goes out there, and then he has this totally mind-blowing experience that changes him forever. But I will admit, the first couple chapters are really boring. Really, really boring. But then once it gets around to chapter 5 or so, it just speeds up, and it's amazing. The book really targets... These are kind of... not really spoilers, but I won't... Just be mindful. But the book really talks about the Trinity, and in the way that conventional Christians see the Trinity versus the way that the Trinity is, and the Trinity are. So it has, of course, in the Trinity, there's God the Father, Jesus, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But the way that the author portrays them in this book, it makes it so much more fluid and a lot more real, because it basically takes every convention that I've been taught in my life, and probably that Amber's been taught in her life, and throws it out the window, because it's man-made conventions to try and define the undefinable while you don't focus on what's really important. Also, there's this thing in the back of the book. It's called the Missy Project, and I can't find it. The Missy Project, and it's after you read this book, and if you really take the message to heart, it's if you want to. It's called the Missy Project, and you're supposed to just tell everyone you can about this book. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this, is because this book has greatly impacted my faith and shaken my faith to the point where I questioned it, which can be a good thing. I don't want to say that every time you should undermine your faith, but I think it's good to take in different perspectives and build up your faith to the point where it's not something you believe just because you were told to. It's something you believe because you want to. But also with the book, something that stood out to me was God wasn't portrayed as a man or a woman all the time. He changed. And she changed. Because we've always, like, as I grew up, I envisioned God to be this, like, Moses-looking figure with the long hair and everything, with, like, a Mediterranean tan, and he's a dude. He's an old guy. But do we really know that for sure? And this is delving deep into theology in this book, but it's not to the point where you have to be super smart to understand it. But it does have very mature spiritual elements to it, and it just, like, I cried through this book. Not because it was a pity cry or anything, or because it truly made me sad. It just really, it's so eye-opening, and it gives you chills, and it's amazing. So I highly recommend that you read it. The page count is...
something.
It is 279 pages, which I finished this book in a day because I could not put it down. Like, I started it at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and finished it about 1 in the morning. I really liked it. And the tagline is, where tragedy confronts eternity. And I think we've all had the point in our lives where something has stopped us in our tracks, whether it was a tragedy of other events or whether it was a tragedy within ourselves. And if you have ever gone through anything like depression or anxiety or any other mental disorder or illness, I think that this book is very good for you. And I understand not everybody who watches this video is a Christian, and that's okay. That's your choice. But if you're really interested in wanting to know about real Christianity and not the conventions that other people put up to mask Christianity, then I suggest you read this. So let me know if you've read this book, let me know if you like it, and just let me know in the comments. Like this video if you liked it. It would be awesome if you would subscribe. It's free. We make all sorts of videos. There is no tagline. We just like stuff.
Yeah.
And Amber's in the corner.
Hello. Warning, my brother did not like this book, but that's because he doesn't like to read. So, if you don't like to read, obviously just don't read it. I felt the need to say that.
Yeah, you should. If you don't like to read, you will not like this book.
Yeah.
I think that's a tagline for all things. If you don't like to read, you're not going to like a book.
Yeah, basically.
But overall, if you like deep thinking and you like to question things and pick them apart, you will like this. So, bye!
Bye!